of fishing. And this is an icon. This is Jimmy Houston. Jimmy, would you come out here? We appreciate you.
I heard you were live on free platforms.
We are
live
on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. So Facebook is our the DFW Fishing Forum, which I think you're a part of. Is that correct?
Well, we get involved with that occasionally.
Yeah, we saw you sign up a few months ago.
That's right.
So we got about 30,000 anglers on there.
Fantastic.
And then I have my Instagram down here. You can see my Instagram people down there.
Got it going.
And then we have YouTube going on right here. So
you're like us. We got 3 YouTube channels. We got TikTok. We got Facebook. We got. I don't know what all we have, but we love it all. We love it all. We love it all.
You are an icon. I grew up watching you, so it's just an honor to meet you.
Some of your friends told me you hadn't grown up.
I'm still working on growing up, guys.
We don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. But you grow old, you can't help that.
That's right.
But you got a little gray going in there too, buddy.
We're not saying that on camera, all right? So, guys, we are excited. Jimmy is doing something special out here. You're actually leaving a legacy on one of the best lakes in the country, Lake Fork.
Lake Fork, absolutely fantastic. I actually got to fish this lake before they opened it up to the public. Texas has been real good over the years about letting some of the television guys and some of the local people that have a outdoor show or something, does stuff like you do now, that let us come and fish these lakes a little bit before they're open, maybe a week or two or a month or two before they open up. And for the publicity value of it, and they'll have some of the local stations come around. I got to fish Lake Fork about a month before it opened. I got to fish a Joe Pool Lake and there in Dallas about a couple of weeks before it opened. Yeah. And then Gibbons Creek down at Bryan's, Texas, which I think that lake now belongs to the I think it's not a public lake anymore. I think it's just a power plant lake. But incredible fishing. So we go way back on this lake. We sure do. And it's a good one, and it's got lots and lots of big fish in it. And right now, it's actually fishing kind of tough. They've got this big tournament going on right now, the Berkeley tournament. I think about 12 or 1,300 fishermen in it. And they'll catch some big fish. I think they'll catch one over 11.
Someone's going to catch one.
I think they'll catch one over 11 pounds. That's my prediction.
That's your prediction?
That's my prediction.
Okay.
One over 11 pounds. 11 pounds. But it's fishing pretty difficult right now.
It is. So it's the turnover. And so I fished out here the past few weeks, and Lake Fork it can be fickle. Like it can humble you guys really fast.
Let me tell you, we've done a lot of shows over the years on Lake Fork Reservoir, and we've done some really good ones. The biggest one that we've ever caught doing a television show over here, I caught one that weighed 10, 12 or 10, 11, something like that, and I caught it on a topwater bait on Head and Zara spook. But my wife caught a 1262 in a Bassingale tournament back probably in the early 90s, and it's the largest fish that was ever caught in Bassingale national competition. Oh, wow. And she caught this out of Lake Fork. But all of that said, well, actually, there's right at the Minnebucket right down the road is where they were weighing in for that tournament. I've also probably bombed out on this lake more than I have any other. So, and I know that everybody watching and listening can say, I have too, because you don't fish it very much without bombing out. And the thing about Lake Fork that's been so amazing to me is you could do really, really good one day, and so you go back out to the next day and you're all excited, you're going to really whack them, and you don't whack them. Yeah, they whack you. They whack you, yeah.
It's a different lake.
Yeah, it's like that. I don't really know why, but most lakes are not like that. But it's still, let me tell you, there's a lot of double-digit bass swimming around that lake. And a lot of what we call teenagers, 13 pounds and up, and that's a really, really huge bass. And I've only caught one bass over 13 pounds in my whole life, and I've caught like 80 bass over 10 pounds. So when you get up into that teenage class, when you move from 12 to 13, you're getting in a high rent district, and you go from 13 to 14, you've left out most of the fishermen behind. You go to 14 to 15, and well, of course, the biggest out here, I think 17 something.
I think 18.
Is it 18? Yeah, 18 something. Yeah,
exactly. So, but that's a whole different class.
Oh, right? What happens? What happens when that happens is you have fish that they're like kids. And you think about a 12-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl, but you think about a 12-year-old boy, and he's like, you have one or two in the class that's 6 or 8 inches bigger than anybody else, and you have some that's about half that size, but 2-3 years later, the one that's little might be bigger, but you got that one that grows bigger, and he's always bigger, and you do that in bass too. So when a certain class of bass, they may, let's say, all be 7-pounders in that class, that year class. There'll be one or two in there that are 10 or 11. 10 or 11.
Exactly.
And so those fish, then when these 7s get up to 10, then you've got those jumbos, those 14, 15, 16. Yeah, those jumbos.
So what's your lake record on Lake Fork?
That 10, I caught 2 over 10 pounds. I never caught an 11 pounder.
Okay.
Caught 2 over 10s. Yeah, my wife's got me beat on this lake.
Okay, all right, ladies, if you.
But I just want you to know I have beat her with a 13-1. I'm just saying. Yeah, don't put any bad rumors out there.
No, that's good. Well, you guys built something incredible here, and one of the things I was hoping that you would have is a pond right in the front.
Yeah,
So,
and I think what we're going to do, because this thing goes around the entire RV park, that's 12 foot deep out there. It looks like just a canal, but it's 12 foot deep, and it's already got some fish going in it, which it wasn't stocked or anything. But I've got a friend of mine that lives over at Eustis, Tommy Renfro, that I fish with quite a bit down there in East Texas, and he manages quite a few private lakes around. And we're gonna talk them into putting some fish in here right now that are like 1.5 pounds, 2.5, 3 pounds. So we'll kind of have some instant, fairly decent.
I could put
fishing.
Some big ones in.
There you go.
For you.
There you go. Catch them, bring them over and turn them loose.
Yeah.
We'll make a total catch and release.
If
So
it's legal, we got to find out.
Oh, it's legal. That's legal. That's
All
legal.
right,
It's
all
totally
right.
legal in Texas.
There we go.
You're gonna, we're in Texas. We're in the South. It's like Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Alabama and Georgia. We do pretty much what you want to do. There's a few things illegal, but it ain't like up north or out west.
That's true.
Most of the things we want to do, we can do legal here. Don't be putting them spotlights on them trucks at night, though. No, they'll frown on that. They frown on that.
I don't know if that works for bass. We'll see.
Yeah, it might.
Night fishing out here is amazing too. So.
Let me tell you, night fishing is great on this lake. And let me tell you, talk about spotlighting. And of course, when I say spotlighting, everybody they knew right there talking about spotlighting deer, and it's been done all over the world, I guess. But we fished a tournament on Lake Lanier one time, and it was a night tournament. And they talked about all these big 8, 9, 10 pound bass. It was like Lake Lanier, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. And so Chris and I went over there and we practiced at night, two or three nights instead of at daytime. And we were having a devil of a time catching fish. We just couldn't hardly find any. And I finally told Chris, I said, I shot carp and stuff ever since I was 16 years old with a bow, and in fact, when I was a bow, I would have my girlfriend and my sister paddle a boat, and with Coleman lanterns hanging over the side of the boat, and I was shooting carp with a bow. And when you're 16, you can talk your girlfriend into a lot. But if you talk your sister into rowing a boat for you, you got to really be a slick talker. You got to really talk.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were down there and we fished like first night we caught like 3 or 4 fish. Now when it got daylight, we could start catching them, but during the night we couldn't catch them. And I told her, I said, I don't think there's any fish in these banks we're fishing. We're just fishing. And we fished a lot of different type of banks. And so I finally took a spotlight and started going down banks. And we went for miles of bank. We'd never see a bass. And Lanier's a real clear lake. You can see way down in it. And then we finally started seeing some bass. And the first time we started seeing some, I told Chris, I said, let's fish. And so we just put the trolling motor down. She's driving a Mercury motor, driving us down the bank. And I took that, we took it and started fishing those fish we saw swimming around with a spotlight and started catching them.
Okay.
And so that was and we developed a way to fish those clear lakes at night. I mean, we were actually spotlighting largemouth bass. Of course, if you shoot a bow for carp, you see a lot of bass swimming around in shallow water. So I knew you could do that. In fact, sometimes people accidentally shoot a bass. You have to really know what you're doing. Because a lot of guys that shoot real fast. I mean, the tournament shoot, they shoot real fast, and so they see it and they shoot, and they go, oh my gosh, it's a bass. And of course, totally against the law to do that.
Exactly.
But yeah, you can actually spotlight bass at night and then turn around and fish for them and catch them. You can actually do that. And that's totally legal. If you're starting to spotlight them and shoot them with a bow, that's another ball game.
So what's your
put
favorite?
You in jail for that.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your favorite part of this RV park that you built?
One of the things that I like about it, of course, you got your boat storage here. It's completely surrounded by water, and it's a very, very nice up class type of an RV park. One of the things that we're hoping to do, really, we're hoping to have, a lot of these, maybe 50 or 75 or 100 of them around the nation. And they're kind of upscale. You can build an RV park. All you need is electric hookup and some water and some place to run the sewer line. Yeah. But if you build a really nice park, it's got good restrooms like this has got. It's got good shower areas. It's got good pull through where you can pull your deals through, and there's a place to back in. Whatever. It's got all of that. And you got boat storage here also. Actually, there's people from out in the West Coast that actually love to come back and fish a lake like Lake Fork because of the reputation and the big bass that's out here. And they can actually, and most people that live on the West Coast and the East Coast, but the West Coast in particular, they are so astounded by how cheap everything is up here. We think gas at $2.59 a gallon or whatever is high. They think gas at $2.59 a gallon, they're giving it away in Texas and Oklahoma. And so the land they think is cheap. It's so cheap, and so they like to come back to our part of the country and do things because it just seemed like such a bargain to them as a cost of price. So you have a lot of people that really come back to the middle part of the country to hunt and to fish because it's just a bargain to them. And so that's another thing about this. But I like the fact that everything is new and nice. And as the trees grow up here and everything, this is going to become a beautiful, beautiful park. And I'm hoping to be able to keep some really good fishing here. So when you come to, and we're going to want that around all of our RV parks that we're going to have around the nation, is we want an outdoor theme to it where you're either right close to a lake, and you know, Lake Fork is just right behind. You just look through the trees right back there at the back of the park, and you see the lake. There's a incredible boat launch less than a mile away, a half a mile down the road. You turn onto the boat launch there for that Caney Point, which is the Grand Saline River deal. It's like the most amazing campgrounds you've ever seen.
They're really
and
nice.
7 boat ramps, you know, can park 250 boat trailers. Just an incredible place, and it's just a mile down the road.
you're right
but
close
the
to
lake, you can see the lake right at the back of this park. I mean, you're not right on the water, but you're really close. And then have outdoor type stuff that's related, that's right close by, that's in the park, itself. And these folks right here that built this park here have some other parks here in Texas, and they got restaurants on them, they got all kinds of things, and this park will grow into something very, very special also. 80 spots is a pretty good sized park too. 80 spots and 30 boats, that's a pretty good sized park.
That's a great
So
size.
it's fantastic, fantastic. We're excited about it.
Yeah. So now, for people that are coming in this weekend, are you going to be around all weekend? Or
No, I'll just be here. I'll just be here
for
today. I'll just be here today. Yeah, we've been down here fishing for a couple of days, and we'll be going back tonight.
All right. So DFW Fishing Forum, if you want to meet the legend himself,
Get on out here before 6 o'clock. We're going to have a
6 o'clock.
band going. They got incredible barbecue. I just probably got barbecue all over my mouth, as a matter of fact. But incredible barbecue here. I see another food truck come in here that's got warm, fresh baked chocolate, chip, Keichels. That's cookies.
It says cookies with a
That's
K.
cookies.
But yeah,
cookies with a K.
I don't know what you
that's
just
cookies,
said.
not Keichels.
I don't know what
K.
you
Yeah,
just
cookies
said,
with a K. Cookies. Yeah. In Oklahoma, we spell cookies with a C, but I'm in Texas, so I
We're in
understand.
Texas.
I understand that.
know.
I understand
It's
that.
a food truck, guys. They got barbecue. They got cookies, and I think they have something else coming out.
Yeah, we got the American Soldier Band be playing, and we got a friend of mine here. Dwayne's got his coach back there, and he does. There's 4 or 5 guys that are doing Toby Keith tribute shows around the country, and Dwayne probably is the best one of those. Well, he is the best. He does the best show and goes all the way with it. And I tell you, Toby was a very, very good friend of mine. We fished and hunted together for the last 25 or 30 years, and we lost Toby in February a couple years ago. When you look at Dwayne, and it almost makes me want to tear up because he really, and you listen to him sing and you see his show, and we might get him to sing a couple songs. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but I'm sure some of the girls will ask him to. But it's going to be, we're going to have a fun time out here for the next 3 or 4 hours. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
So one of the things, as all these people descend on Lake Fork this weekend, if you fish Fork for many years, if you were to use one lure on the lake to try to win this tournament, what's Jimmy Houston's lure that he's going to use?
There's 2 philosophies you can go by here, and the bite is tough, and you're trying. It's big fish, but you have big fish unders and big fish overs because of the strange situation of a slot lake here, and so you can have the biggest fish that's under that slot. And that's going to be settled by hundredths of an ounce, obviously, because you're going to have ones that just don't quite touch, and then for the under. And that wins a brand new boat. That brings a brand new boat, a fully rigged boat. And so then you have the one that's the largest fish that's over, and which I'm predicting is going to be over 11 pounds. So you don't have to have a philosophy to go for one or the other. Like most of these big bass tournaments have been held, McDonald's tournaments and things that's held over Texas that have thousands of people fishing these things. Doesn't cost much money to fish it. You have a chance to win a great big prize. Go out and have fun fishing. It's just a great tournament concept. And but most of them, they're trying to catch just the big fish. But this lake lends itself, because of the slot, to catching the biggest fish that's under the slot.
I think there's still a good check for that.
Well, it's a boat. They're giving away 2 boats, one for the biggest under, one for the biggest over.
Okay.
So if you're going after the biggest over, I'd go with probably a big crankbait that'll run down, run down about at least 10 or 12 foot deep.
Okay.
Because most of those big fish right now are in about the 10 or 12 foot level.
Okay.
So you want to get down to where you're running that crankbait just over the top of them, out off the ends of points, on ledges, and the ends where grass lines in, stuff like that. And for if you're going to try to catch the biggest over, and a crankbait be a shad-colored crankbait or a bluegill-colored crankbait. Bluegill is what they're catching them on right now. I caught a 6-pounder and a 7-pounder yesterday on a red man spinnerbait, solid white, which is a shad color, solid white, solid white red man spinnerbait, slow rolling over the top of the grass. And we caught quite a few fish that way. We caught a lot of fish that were would be unders, so for that deal. So, but yet we caught the 2 biggest fish that we caught all day, and we didn't catch 11-pounders. But I caught a 6 and a 7, and I caught a couple other 4-pounders on a chartreuse colored Fish Lucky American Original crankbait. Not a big crankbait, but now if you're going for that big fish, a big crankbait. Okay. Big crankbait. It's like a big old steak to a big old bass. So you can do both of those, and that big crankbait is probably not going to catch many, but you have the chance to catch that boat, that one that wins that new boat and big old motor on it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. A nice day to fish tomorrow. Nice day the next day. They might even get some cloud cover tomorrow. The wind is blowing a little bit. It hadn't blown in about 2 weeks. When it's windy, Lake Fork is better. Yeah. So it's probably going to be better tomorrow with a little bit of breeze than it has been lately. But it's fishing fairly tough right now, though.
It has been. And that's been the past 3-4 weeks since the turnover really happened.
We've got Indian summer. We're having 90-degree days. Here we are in the middle of October.
Cool.
90-degree days.
Cool nights.
And the nights are getting down in the high 50s, low 60s. So that water temperature has been slowly coming down. But it's about 76 out there right now. But it gets down to maybe 75 or 74 at night, and then jumps back up to about 80 or 81 in the daytime. So it was about 86 here, a couple of weeks ago. But it is gradually getting cooler. And you got to remember, of course, a largemouth bass is fish period are cold-blooded. So that water temperature is their body temperature. So the difference between 84 or 86 and 74, 76, that's a big deal to the fish. Yeah. That's a difference to us as well, but it's a big deal to the fish.
So they're cold-blooded, so the warmer it is, the more active they are, the more they eat.
The more active they are, but then they also have a tendency, when the water's up in the 80s, to get a lot sluggish. They don't move around near as much, but there'll be a lot of fish caught in this, but there'll be a lot of people having a hard time getting a bite out there. Yeah. It's pretty tough out there, really, right now.
Well, we appreciate your time here.
I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing, too. You're doing great.
Yeah,
great
we're
job.
Excited,
great
guys.
job.
Come on down. Well, so what's the address here? And what's the name of your RV park?
The name of the park is Jimmy Houston Outdoors Big Bass RV Park and Storage. And something like 34, 35 or something, Highway 154, Yantis, Yantis. Those of you that are familiar with Lake Fork, we're just about a mile and a half or 2 miles from up above the bridge, 154 bridge, where the famous Minna Bucket is, and the Goldfish Cafe and stuff had been there forever. And so this is one of the iconic areas of Lake Fork right now. We got a big sign out there that on the road, and they got 80 RV parks here, and it's just absolutely astounding. And great people running this place, and a great RV park, great place to park here. And you can store your boat here at the same time. Store your boat here at the same time.
Big, exactly.
And y'all jump on our YouTube channels too, 3 of them.
Go ahead.
You just go in there and get Jimmy Houston out. Just Jimmy Houston, you'll find them. One of them's Catch a Better Life on YouTube, which is a daily devotional channel where we post every morning at 5 o'clock. We got 30-some-odd thousand folks on that. We've got about 100-some-odd thousand on our Jimmy and Chris Houston's Twin Eagle Ranch, where we have all of our deer and all of our baby deer and all that stuff on there. And then we spun off a fishing channel off of that here recently. Got about 15,000, 20,000 people on, called Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. And then Facebook, 600,000 or 700,000 people on Facebook. If you're a Facebook person, Jimmy Houston Outdoors, all capital letters.
All right.
And if you go in there, Jimmy Houston, you're going to find a lot of stuff where you can watch. You might get sick of watching it. There's so much of it out there. I know I do.
You're great. This laugh, this is the iconic laugh. If you guys have been watching Jimmy Houston for as long as I have.
We have fun.
You're amazing.
Fishing's fun. That's it, man. Fishing's fun.
You make it fun to watch.
Oh, we have a good time.
Which is hard because there's a whole new class of people, a whole new class of kids, influencers that are out here and doing really good, like Trey McKinney and JT Tompkins, and they're just killing it, coming out in here and getting 30 pounds a day for 3 or 4 days in a row.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. You know, the forward-facing sonar, the Garmin Live Scopes, and I've got 2 of them on my boat out there, and that has changed the game without a doubt. We are seeing and fishing for and catching fish that basically never saw any lures hardly before from where they were. And there are a lot of mountain flats and stuff in areas and they're out there maybe 10 or 15 feet deep over 30, 40, 50, 60 foot of water. And you could never know where they were. You go out there and fish all day and not get a bite. And but you find them and they're 10 foot down. You run your bait 6 or 7 foot, 2, 3, 4, 5 foot above them, and you got a good cast and you jump up there and grab it. And it's a fish that's probably never even seen a fishing lure.
Nobody's fishing out there out in the middle.
And so it's amazing. We're catching muskie up north that we never were able to catch. You go up there, they talk about 100,000 casts to catch one. And you go up there now and maybe make 30 casts in 2 days and catch 15. And then you make more casts than that, but really when you're actually seeing them and throwing at them, and the same way they're suspended up 10, 15, 20 foot deep usually they're up there in the Great Lakes and the Northern Lakes, they're usually over ledges and stuff, but their ledge might be 40, 50 foot deep. They're not down there on that ledge, but they're up over the top of it. They're relating to that ledge. And then when you see them, and of course a lot of them are 40 or 50 inches long, so it's like a big old shining blob down there. And the only thing difficult is you throw big heavy lures like 3, 4, 5 ounce lures, and so sometimes it's difficult to make accurate casts. Like instead where you bass fish, you make a lot more accurate casts. But yeah, it's changed the game. And some tournaments are allowing the guys to only use those live scopes one day without them, stuff like that. So there's a lot of changing in fishing, but I like it because there's a lot of days I can't find them. I don't know how you do every day, but there's a lot of days I can't find them.
Yeah, no, it definitely helps weed out unproductive water.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Where you're fishing one time, you caught him there yesterday, and you would just stay there for 2 hours. You pull up to that spot, and you scan around. You don't see any bait. You don't see any fish, and you're like, I'm not sticking around.
The one thing I'd recommend, though, as far as the live scopes and stuff, don't let it stop you from fishing. One of the things that I see that really disturbs me a little bit is you talk about those young guys. I see the high school kids. I see a lot of, and those high school kids are not really learning nearly enough about fishing to enjoy it all their life. I'll be honest with you. There's just so much that you learn as you grow up fishing that you have fun with all your life, and they're really not learning that. And so don't let it stop you fishing. I see some of these high school kids and even college kids in tournaments driving around out there, and they got a swim bait hung on their eye, their rod. They're driving around, looking like this all the time, and then they stop and make a cast. Yeah. I think in order to really have fun out there, you need to keep fishing and keep your eye on that thing out of the corner of your eye all the time. Roland Martin taught me 30 years ago that you always have that locator in the corner of your eye. And this was just what is now really primitive locators we were using in those early days. But have that on the corner of your eye. You see a fish there, then you can throw out there and catch it. But at the same time you're catching fish, cranking a crankbait or ticking the top of the grass with a spinnerbait, you catch
sometimes
a fish.
You don't see the fish.
And of course today you might go out and catch 15 or 20 bass. Maybe there was 3 or 4 or 5 of them you saw and you caught. The rest of them you caught just fishing. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying is don't let it keep you from fishing, because what I think will happen to some of these tournament guys that are just so sold out to that, they don't know how to catch them a lot of different ways. And when the tournaments are over, they might lose their fun of fishing. And the good thing about fishing is this is a sport we can play all our life. I mean, I'm 81 years old,
You're 81.
and yeah, and you can play. There's not many sports you can play at that age.
Yeah,
The golfers do it, you know, and those guys, they hit it about 50 yards right down the middle, hit it another 50 yards, and they never have to look for their ball because it's just about 50 yards out there down the middle, and they play golf. But even at that, not many people past 60 or 70 play golf very much. You can fish forever.
Yeah.
You can fish forever. You can fish in a wheelchair and have a lot of fun. You can fish no matter what, and you can have dementia and go fishing and have fun. I was just talking to a man out there, and he fishes. Doesn't remember what he caught, but that's okay.
Hey, every
That's
day's
okay.
a new day of
as long as
fishing.
you're having fun, that's all
That's
that really
it.
matters is fun.
Well, we appreciate you. I started an organization called Ultimate Fishing Events where I want to make it accessible for a lot of people to join a tournament, and not more of a contest, a nationwide contest. We want to find out who is the best bass fisherman in the country. So I'm starting that out. I got a gift for you that I'm going to show you here. And you brought up Roland Martin, who I fished with about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Roland, if he's watching this, I fished with him. I think I'm the only person that hit him in the head with a 2-ounce tungsten. He took me, we went flipping out in Florida, and I set the hook, and that hit him in the head. I apologize, Roland.
He deserves that. He deserves it. I fished with Roland 1,000 times. We fished together a lot. He spends about a week or 10 days.
I'm admitting this on camera right now.
At my house every year. And him and Bill Dance and I was fishing down catching trout, specks, sea trout, speckled trout down there in Florida, and we were catching a bunch of little trout. Were about a pound and a half. We'd caught some pretty nice fish that morning. I kept telling him, I said, let's go tarpon fishing. So we could catch these trout, but we was catching a lot of them. And Bill and Roland, they just a couple old men, sound like a couple old ladies out there fishing. And Roland, we're using a popping cork and a jig. And Roland, we're using just a jig. Roland says, we can catch more of these on a popping cork. So he puts a popping cork on. and puts it about 10 foot above his jig. And he's throwing that thing out there, and I'm ducking and dodging. I said, Roland, will you take that cork off? I said, you're going to hook somebody. And we got 2 camera guys in the boat, 2 camera guys in 2 other boats, and he's just like I'm ducking and dodging. I said, Roland, you're gonna hit somebody. He's got 50-pound braid on this line. And all of a sudden, he veered back to throw, and he throws that thing out there, and Dance goes, ah! And he grabbed his head. He grabbed his head. He said, you got me, hit me. And Roland gets up there. He's not quite as tall as Bill, and he's up there on his head like this. And he's going, oh, no, stop it. Oh, Bill, wait a minute. And Bill's going, he can't reach around him. Get away from me. And he finally reached up there, and he grabs a hold of that jig. And he said, I got it. It's just barely in. And he pulled it, and he jerked Bill about a foot up over that boat. And he said, oh, my God, it didn't come out. And Bill's going, get out of here. He's trying to, he can't do anything. And I'm laughing. That's so funny. I'm just dying laughing. And he said, well, no, I'll get it. He said, you get it, leave it alone. And they're fighting each other. And he pulled it out the second time. When he did, it looked like he struck oil. Blood shot about 3 foot up in the air.
Oh, my God.
And Bill had got a yellow shirt on, got all over his shirt.
Oh, my goodness.
And so he deserves, Roland deserves what you did to him. He deserved what you did to him, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Man, you must have so many amazing stories with these guys.
If you fish with Roland Bill, you're going to have some stories,
Roland
that's for sure.
Funny.
He's a cool guy. He's one of my very best friends. Him and I hunt and fish together a lot.
Yeah.
He's a real good friend of mine.
Well, we thank you. I don't want to take up too much time. I know we got
to get out there and get to work. We got to get out there and get to work. Yeah.
Guys, come on out tonight.
Be here at 6 o'clock.
Let me show you guys right here. Jimmy Houston's Big Bass RV Park, 3944 Texas Highway 154, Yanis, Texas. So come on out, guys. That's it. Thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate you guys.
The billboard's actually lit up now.
It is actually, yeah. You got
good.
It's probably the only one that's an electric. You guys are going to see a digital billboard. That's how you'll find this right on the road here. So,
very cool.
Thank you so much. Thanks for.
We're gonna get out there and have some fun.
All right.
You're doing a good job. I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, guys. That's it. We're gonna wrap up here and come on out. Check it out.